Coming to you live from the People's Communist State of New York. Look who's back. I'm still alive. But before I put my mask away, this is what it said. Okay, it certainly didn't say Black Lives Matter. Anyway, look who's back. My first video in a while. Now, there hasn't been such a gap between videos because anything had happened or anything like that, or that this fake pandemic claimed another victim. It's just that, honestly, I've been very busy. I'm one of the few people who didn't get to take the last 6 months off from work. And I say that as a joke. I know economically, if there's one thing serious about this fake pandemic, is that economically it's hitting a lot of people very hard. And for those of you who have lost your jobs or lost your businesses, I certainly do feel for you. But that really is a socialist agenda, isn't it? Right? You know, kill the economy until private industry fails. But good thing Amazon's doing okay. But I've been busy. I have a job that I didn't. You wouldn't be able to tell as far as I'm concerned. I went to work every goddamn day. So I've just been a little too busy for this. Plus, as I complained in previous videos, with the ranges being closed, how much can I really rant about coronavirus? How much can I really rant about the left's attack on police in this country that's been going on since a piece of shit felon George Floyd died? How much can I really talk about that? In fact, my 500th anniversary, I keep saying that, my 500 subscriber special took place over this pandemic, and I had to do a complete talkie video. But I did get a lot of, I am picking up subscribers still, amazingly, and I'm getting a lot of positive comments. So what this video is going to be is just kind of a, I am going to get back to shooting. I'm going to have some monumental news for you in a little bit. But this video is going to be, I'm going to start answering some comments that I've been getting. I try to, you've seen, I try to respond to you guys. Some of you guys have noticed I actually have responded sometimes, and sometimes I don't respond directly. I'll do like a public thing so other people can read it. So if you're not getting, I don't know how YouTube really works like that. This whole interweb thing is still kind of new to me. So you might not be being notified of mine, that I'm actually responding. So I figured, you know what, since you are subscribing, you'll at least know when I make a video. I'm going to actually do this live, with the zero production that I have on my channel. I'm actually going to do this live, looking at some of my responses on, here's my phone. I'm going to answer a few things right now. So let's get right into it. And then I'm going to do some firearm stuff after this. Most recently, Big Joe Firearms and Reviews had some very nice words. He agrees with me 100%. I'm so on point. That was referring to my 500th subscriber special. And he said, in response to the one I had with the toilet paper, keep up the great videos and use a Smith, please. What he's referring to there is, remember I'd said that I'm going to do a video on how the NYPD taught us to run our revolvers. And of course, my dog is now going to jump up on the couch and start yakking. You're gonna walk all over my props and all my shit? Okay, keep on coming. Here we go. Just so you know, he made it fine through the pandemic too. What he's referring to when he says use the Smith, I had a question of whether or not when I do this revolver training like we used to do back in the day, if I should use the old GP 100, because it is, I do love this revolver, or should I go with my, seriously, Leo, you got to get out of here. Or should I go with my old Smith? He said use the Smith, and I'm inclined to agree. If I'm going to do an old-timey, back-in-the-day type of NYPD training revolver video, why not use the gun that I actually carried on duty? And yes, I did. For those of you who just joined this party late, this is my service revolver before I transitioned to the 9mm, and this is exactly how I carried it. I got the Smith & Wesson Combat stocks, and this is exactly how I carried it. 38 Special, 4-inch barrel, Smith & Wesson Model 64. It was the NY64 because, as I explained, they had surgically removed the hammer spur, and after I retired, I had them put the double-action sear back in. Not them, I went to a gunsmith and replaced the hammer. So now it is a fully functional 38 caliber, 38 Special 4-inch revolver. I'll use this one. The only caveat to that is I'm going to have to go to Amazon and order a couple of speed loaders. I'll get the HKS speed loaders that I used to carry for this, because when I transitioned to the 9, I foolishly gave them away, along with all my revolver-related leather gear that I used to carry on my belt, my old swivel holster and my speed loader pouches and the speed loaders. In hindsight, that was pretty stupid, but what is a 38 special speed loader going to cost me on Amazon? $6. I'll pick up a couple and I'll rig up a thing and I'll show you how we used to do it. It ought to be fun for everybody. Next comment on that. Let's see. Again, thank you for the kind words, Big Joe. While I'm looking at this thing, Pops McCarthy, he's one of my first subscribers. It's always good to hear from you, Pops. 5 months ago, you commented, and he said use a service revolver too. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Let's see on to the next one. Kevin Brandt, 6 days ago, made this comment. Kevin says, "Can you please do more NYPD videos and rants? Incorporate the old silver 5906 Smith." Well, I'll tell you, Kevin. My stories and my opinions on the NYPD and on city politics in general seem to be very popular on this channel. I keep forgetting. Now, for those of you watching this channel who were on the NYPD with me, some of you, it's fun to reminisce with me, I guess, and we all have those varying experiences. But for the most part, we look at it a different way. It's just like, really, is anyone really interested in this shit? I only go off on it when something touches me and it clicks in my head of something that happened. We tend to forget that throughout the rest of the country, people tend to, not to sound self-important, but you turn on TV, watch a movie. What's the police department that's on the TV show or in the movie? It's either NYPD or LAPD, right? One of those two. And being on that job, we tend to forget that people throughout the rest of the country might have an interest in actually seeing the real side of that. So, Kevin, I will promise to, when it's appropriate, I will incorporate my experiences in the NYPD, with the caveat that, as I said before, I will not turn this channel into look this fucko. I will not turn this channel into a forum for me to just start spouting war stories and things like that, because I think that'll get old quick, and it gets old for me kind of talking about it. You'll notice, and I stand by the statement, you'll notice that anytime I bring up the NYPD, it's because we crossed ground in the course of firearms or city politics where the story was appropriate, and it was something that if I didn't personally experience, it was something that I was firsthand there when it happened. So I will continue to add them in when they're appropriate, but you won't see a video from me basically, with a cup of hot cocoa talking to you guys about my time on the JOB, because I have no interest in doing that. But yeah, when this revolver thing goes off, I already know one particular instance. I have one thing that I got to bring up, and I'm going to apologize. I didn't do it, but I was there and I saw him do it. So Sean, I'm not going to use your last name. I apologize in advance, but that was pretty fucking funny, my friend. That was funny. Let's see what else we got. Duck and Cover 4 weeks ago commented, I guess when I went on that rant, I got pretty heated when I said we move south and vote the same fucking way. Yeah, he's agreeing that seems to be what happens. He also laughed at my comment about bridge toll therapy. He didn't know it firsthand, but he totally gets it. It's a universal comeuppance. And yeah, in New York City, it's almost like it was planned that way. Not only is it a tremendously tall vertical city, but it's a sprawling city. It sprawls over Staten Island, Manhattan Island. That's 2 islands. Brooklyn and Queens are on geographically on Long Island. That's a 3rd island, and then you have the Bronx, which is actually the only borough that's attached to the mainland. The contiguous 48 states. It's the only borough that's actually attached to the mainland. So you have this sprawling city that covers various waterways, and they're all kind of individual, and they're connected by bridges. So depending on where you work, they'll always find a place that makes you fucking cross a bridge or a tunnel, and none of them are free. Well, the Williamsburg Bridge is still free, and the Brooklyn Bridge is still free, but because they're free, you ever drive those regularly? Okay, so yeah, Duck and Cover, yes, you're absolutely right. 2 months ago, Cosmo Kramer said the job is dead. Yeah, yes it is. Back to Duck and Cover on that same video, he said, most of us carry but never fire except the range. Please share more smarts on how you watch your 6, avoid escalation, recognize something. Yeah, that's as always, that kind of ties into what I'm going to do. I don't pull stuff out of my ass. I'll actually, if I have personal experience in it of something that I did or may not have done or seen, I'll bring it. Other than that, I'll just go with straight, factual talk about the gun I might just have in front of me. Ted Beaulieu a week ago congratulated me. He got 357 after watching. Well, thanks. I'm always glad that I can influence people, and that's going to be a kind of a comment that recurs. People actually do listen to what I say, and I'm never going to stop being flattered and impressed by that. And as Pops again, glad to see your channel growing. Congratulations on 500 by John Kovacs. Education, entertainment. Yeah, I try to entertain. I think I mentioned on a couple of videos that, I even, when my wife is around, I always say I can't get into character when she's around. Look, this is me, but I'm also playing kind of a character on these videos a lot of times. And Leo, you piece of... This fucking dog, I swear to God. Okay. Let's see if we can move on to the next one. Oh, look at this. Ledge Journeyman, 2 months ago. I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for helping me get over my bias towards Leos, law enforcement officers, as well as the great content. He brought the Smith & Wesson 357 off my review. The 350, I guess he's referring to my J-frame here, which I still do love. This one's loaded, so I'm not going to juggle with it just yet. Look, I'm not sure what bias he had. Was it towards, for, or against law enforcement officers? But again, I present who I am to you. And if you like it, you like it. And most of you seem to like it. Duck and Cover again. He's Duck and Cover's asking, crack the code on what guns will work well and why for female shooter who doesn't shoot a lot. Is Duck and Cover a female? I don't know. Like the cute small ones, like the shootability of the larger ones. Duck and Cover, if you are a female, or if you're speaking for a female in your life, that is something that I guess I might have alluded to it. I might actually dive into that. I remember I had mentioned that I was going to start using some of my wife's guns, more specifically the Smith & Wesson 380 EZ, and I'm going to use them to see how they stack up and how I feel with them as for legitimate self-defense guns. Maybe I'm getting her this close, maybe this close, because what we have other range options open to us now, which is going to be part of my monumental announcement. I might just get the missus on camera, and not just to have her shoot her guns, but maybe to shoot some of the hubby's guns. Maybe even without being one of those cheesy videos of hot chicks shooting big guns on YouTube. What the fuck is that all about? Maybe even I'm gonna get her to make friends with this fucking thing to see how this works on things. But Duck and Cover, you bring up an excellent point in that. All these women's guns, they're pink and they're cutesy and they're tiny, and I don't have my little 380, my LCP2 around, and it's cute and it's tiny and it's light and it's easy to do everything with. But shooting that thing is a beast. It's no fun to shoot. Shooting that with maxed out 380 loads in it is much less pleasant than shooting this 357. And you would think for a small shooter like a woman, I'm not going to carry this. Well, fuck, I don't carry this either. It's too big and it's too heavy. But you would look at this and say it's too intimidating, but it's really not. Even though it's a tremendously powerful caliber, the best self-defense caliber that I think is on the market, 357 Magnum, it handles it very, very well. And if you put 38 Special Plus Ps through here, this thing it's a charm. So maybe, a female shooter, I will get the wife to put some 357s through this and some 38 Special Plus P through this, and maybe she might be saying, screw all these little guns. Maybe I want this on my side of the bed, because she does keep one on her side of the bed, just in case any of you, like I said, you motherfuckers want to break in after my coronavirus rants. We'll be ready, he says facetiously with tongue in cheek. Let's move on. I'm not going to stay on this one thread, but a lot of people are Duck and Cover again. The mask. I made reference to the masks. You have to wear your mask now, and again, it's not the Nazi armband. I made a more volatile reference that it's actually closer to the yellow star that they made the Jews wear in the Nazi ghettos to identify themselves. And if you don't wear it, you get in trouble if you don't wear it. That's kind of what it is. I don't know what's going on in the rest of the country. But in New York, yes, this is still the land of, if you stand on a street corner and watch cars go by, you will see in a 10-minute period, you'll see at least 7 or 8 people driving alone in their own car with a fucking mask on with the windows rolled up. And of those 7 to 10 people, 3 of them will have latex gloves on in their own fucking car alone while they're driving. So the fear is totally in effect in New York. Everyone is convinced that you can certainly go out there and stand up and rise up against the police and march around, but it is way, way too dangerous to go into a gymnasium and vote in person. They are all on board around here with those mail-in votes. And I've been using the line. I saw it on the internet. I'll get off this tangent quick. Enough with this shit. But this is a good one. I saw it on a meme on the internet, and it's a great one. With the mail-in voting, it says, go to get a $500 bill, put it in an envelope, address it to yourself, put a stamp on it, and drop it in a mailbox. Would you be willing to do that? And when the person says, no, I'm not going to $500. I'm not going to put that in the mail. I don't trust the mail. It's going to get lost. Exactly. These are the people who think that you could vote for president and the direction this country is going to take for the rest of our generation on a mail-in ballot, and think that that's not going to be fugazi. Keep that in mind. We'll keep scrolling. I get a lot of comments. I might have to do this in a bunch of videos. This is just on the 500 video one. Douglas Brink, a month ago. Congratulations on 500. Love the video. Good to know for those of us in progressive blue states. There are others that share our worldview. Yeah. You know what? I agree 100%. Yes, craziest thing I saw, a middle-aged guy and his wife driving a vintage Corvette convertible masked up. LOL. Yeah. It keeps coming back to that because the 500 was a political rant. But again, it's. I swear this is the last I'm going to go on this. Then I'm going to go back to regular comments. What's going on right now? We as a country are being tested, okay? And this test has found us all lacking. The shadow groups and organizations, whether it's Communist China and the American politicians that are in their pocket, when they ran this test, they found out that America, which was a country that in the history of human existence, no country has shed more blood for the cause of freedom and what's right than the United States of America. And the American spirit and our industrious nature and our love of freedom, we have now since become a society that is willing to trade away huge chunks of its freedoms that were won from by our previous generations. We are a society that's willing to trade away huge chunks of that freedom for just a promise of a marginal amount of a little more safety. And, again, just look at the TV. Look at the TV. They still want us to buy pizzas with touchless delivery. They're still offering to sell us cars that make a $50,000 investment where you don't even touch the fucking thing, and they drive at your house with a mask on. I mean, just a little drop of fear was enough to make America collectively shit its pants. Okay? And that's where we are. And that's why November's coming, folks. Now, we're lost here. New York is lost. California's lost. You all have seen the electoral map. You know what states are lost. I'm not losing my shit over the mail-in ballots because, we're all on board with it in New York. Trump wasn't going to win New York anyway. Nor was he going to win California. For a minute there, I was having fantasies that, New York was going to stunt. Because you see, riding around New York right now, especially I live on the water, there are Trump rallies going everywhere. Hundreds of boats with banners and flags and people hanging flags everywhere around here. Trump 2020, make America great and all that other stuff. You would think that, Jesus Christ, maybe he's making inroads down here. Maybe, and when upstate, there are 19 million people in New York. Only 9 million people live in New York City. So, we can take the state. If you guys upstate get off your asses and vote, we can take the state. But no, the mail-in ballots are going to make it's going to be a done deal. But he was going to lose New York anyway. We need the rest of you in the free states. We need you. I'm pleading with you. Please do not give us Biden-Harris. Please. Okay? So I'll leave that there. You can pick it up and spread it around in the states that are going to swing this election, because I'm lost. We're done here. We're absolutely done here. I'm just throwing messages in a bottle from fucking New York. We are done like dinner. Moving on. I'm not going to get too far back. Mail trucks, we got sick too. Okay. Only a few more of these. Kevin Brand, got a new subscriber. But when was this? A week ago. Only one Only one cannoli. Thank you for taking the necessary precautions to ensure you do not shoot us through the camera. Wow, he's referring to an old. This is the old GP100 when I was experimenting with the compact grips. I guess one of my first references to the absolute. Well, it's not insanity. Gun safety is always important, but I always laugh at channel when they're making doubly sure that. Come on, man. Look. What's going to happen to you? It's a screen. Nothing's going to happen to you as long as you're not doing anything with the gun. You know, I've taken some hits on my gun safety, specifically some of my range footage. A lot of guys really are concerned about my eyesight, and I appreciate that you care about me. You have to understand a few certain things, as I've probably explained before. When I'm shooting reactionary targets, which I can almost never do on video because the range won't allow it yet. When I'm just shooting paper on an enclosed range, I don't see the point of eye protection. I'm not worried about brass because we're walled in at the Nassau range. So we're walled in. It's not like, even at the when I used to qualify, they'd make us wear eye protection because, we're shooting, there was steel stanchions and everything, and things could happen. But also because you're on a firing line with a bunch of guys, and the brass casings would consistently hit me in the side that ejects to the right. So the guy, I'm probably doing it to the same thing to the guy next to me, but I'm constantly getting here and here. It would be banging off my eye protection constantly. So hot brass in the eye is no fun. Hot brass down the fucking t-shirt is no fun either, but at least it's not going to be debilitating and cause some serious damage. When I'm at a range like that, I take the eye protection with a grain of salt. So that's what I do. And also, although I'll always wear hearing protection because you can get cumulative damage from shooting a firearm. If I'm involved in a no shit shooting situation, I'm not going to be wearing eye protection. I want to get the muzzle flash. I want to see things. I want to have the feeling of not having anything on my face. Okay, and that's another reason why I do it. One, I'm in no danger from paper target, and two, you fight like you train, and I want to train al fresco. Okay, for as long as I can. So that's I went down another rabbit hole on that. But that comment that reminded me, this tongue-in-cheek commented, remind me of some hits that I've taken about bulletproof eyelids and shit like that. What are you gonna do? It's my eyes. Thanks for worrying about it. Some old comments. That's an old video. I guess I like when people subscribe to me and they go through my old shit. It's actually kind of funny. Let's see what Michael Harold has to say. This is with my when I made my new Gen 4 purchase. And again, nothing's really changed on it, and I haven't really shot any video on this yet. But this is my go-to. This is what I'm running now. I guess I had mentioned about I wanted to get a 357 SIG, and Michael Harold says he went through the 357 SIG phase. Great round, but it's not all that's advertised. Look at the Underwood ammo bonded hollow point 124 grain plus P plus. It uses Spear Gold dot bullet, didn't know that, and cranks up to its limit. Pretty much identical in ballistics to the 357 SIG, and you still get 15 rounds. Out of curiosity, what do I got here? Speak of the devil, and the devil appears. We'll get back to this in a minute. Thanks for the input, Michael. Always like to see it. That was a week ago. Bruiser from 6 months ago was recommending the Streamlight TLR7. If that one craps out, Bruiser, certainly I will take your... I do actually make notes of all the things you guys recommend to me. And because I'm not really a gun channel, I can't request these from manufacturers and do back-to-back comparisons. But I do note them, and if they're different from what I'm running, I keep them in the back burner in case I want to swap out things. PH from 4 months ago. I know how you feel. Except I don't live in a commie state. When I turned 21, it was right after the Sandy Hook false flag, and there wasn't any 9 on the shelves and couldn't find a G26 or 19 anywhere. Tried to get a couple. This is a long comment. Let's see. What'd you go with? Trained me on a Glock 22, went up to 23, found a Glock 27 super cheap. Right before the pandemic, I got a case of Gold Dots, 180 grain. Dirt cheap. Okay, so he stuck with the 40. All right, well, good for him. Pops McCarthy again. Love the G19. He has 2 Generation 3s. I forgot about that. Carrying Glock 19. John M. Found a channel. Enjoy the videos. Thank you, John M. Punisher 762 6 months ago. Congratulations on the purchase. Okay. Can't give my old ass Gen 2 a break. Yeah, those comments, went along certain lines. Michael Harold again. Just stumbled on your channel because I just bought one of these. I think you're doing a hell of a job. Keep it up. Thanks, Michael. Always like to hear that kind of stuff. David Mustaine, I guess again talking about my Generation 4, says you can't beat Trusty. Used to be my daily carry until the 43X came out. Carry, yeah, you know, again, same type of things. David Mustaine also had a comment on my Badger grips for his J-frame. It's getting action worked on a new sights, and yeah, hopefully you don't have the same problem that I did when I did it, Dave. But you know, let me know. And he's also saying, Paul Jr., you be the judge. Yeah, I'm a big Paul Harold fan. I don't make any attempt to hide that. Mountain Man. Wow, Modern Mountain Man. Join your video. Yes, you know, I actually responded to him, but it brings up a point. Why did I choose the M360 over the Ruger LCRX? And my response to him, and I don't expect you to all follow personally, because I actually responded to him directly, I think. The reason why I chose this was because, as Paul Harold says a lot, this is what was available to me. My dealer had one of these in stock. The LCRX was not in stock. So between the two, when I have to choose between something and nothing, guess what I take? At least when it comes to guns, I take something. And not that this is a step daughter to the poor here. This is an excellent gun. I've shown it in action, and it's an excellent firearm. I'm happy with it. But I would have liked to have had the LCRX at least to try out. Brandon White, 9 months ago, enjoys my videos. Glad to hear someone with real-world experience. Makes me want a J-frame. Again, I'm glad I'm able to give you guys insight. If you don't have something that I have, and again, I have some guns, but I don't have a ton. If I have something that you don't have and I can influence you to do it, I find that very flattering. Thank you very much. Guard USA prefers even the heavy SP101. He preferred the 125 grain. Yeah, I like 125 grain when it comes to 357 Magnums. Cala Davis, great reviews, good examples. These are all nice. You know, as I go through this is going to get very long because I might have to do a part 2 on responding to these. This is actually a good pandemic type of thing. I should have done these maybe instead of ranting my ass off the last 2 or 3 videos. I could have actually responded to some of these replies. Okay, so I think I'm going to finish with oh yeah, I'll finish up here except this one. This I want to see. Greg, this is 2 weeks ago. Greg Tomarich, I'm butchering that name, I'm sorry. He's talking about, wow, my old video, that Glock 26 NYPD2 trigger install. He's a SIG armorer and has been so since 1989. Just started on a Glock. It's very simple parts. I'm changing an XNY guy's trigger on a model of a Mod 23 40 caliber. I just ordered a spring. I can't remember if the trigger block and the trigger bar have holes for the new spring. Once I take that New York trigger system, FYI, LOL, I got a digital trigger gauge. The bottom line is I don't think it will have the holes for the new S spring. If not, I'll order new parts. Just in time for deliveries from the Glock store are timely. Just trying to save time. Yeah, okay. To my knowledge, because I don't recall having any issues with any holes missing as far as attaching the stock spring. Even the he's probably already answered this question, but yeah, I don't have the thing to push the pins out to see. As I recall, and this is, you don't get much older than this Gen 2. I had put a does this have the New York trigger? This does not have any version of New York trigger, I don't think. I was able to swap back and forth between the New York 1, New York 2 trigger and the stock spring on this thing. So I don't think you're going to have any kind of an issue on that one. But again, let me know if you do. Okay, we're going to put a bow on the mail call version of this because, like I said, I don't prepare for these things at all. So I didn't think I had that many responses to reply to, but apparently I do. So maybe I'll fit in a, what I'm going to do, so I'm going to do some shooting on the next video. Maybe I'll take at least part of each of my videos and respond to the most recent comments. And if I have time, I'll go back because I do have a lot of comments. And if I didn't mention you on the air, I do apologize because I do read your comments and and even if I don't get a chance to respond to them because I get a lot, you know, and this isn't my job. I have other jobs. Maybe I'll do a little piece of, responding, things I got with the most recent comments, and dig back. If I find something really interesting, I'll give myself a homework assignment and get some old ones that maybe, had some questions, that had some things that I wanted to discuss. Maybe I'll make that points of discussion. And now, on to my next thing I'm doing. I'm going to do a quick cutscene here, probably put a funny picture in there, and then I'll go on to what the other part of what this video is going to be about, the momentous announcement. And we're back. And momentous announcement. It's not that momentous, but for me it is. I found another facility that the wife and I can shoot at. This is a private range that's going to allow me a lot more freedom. It's going to allow me, one, to shoot steel that they have there, two, to bring my own steel when I want to start spending even more money on this hobby, on this lifestyle, on that, and three, and most importantly, it allows me to, what the what? You fucking know it. I could finally do what I always wanted to do. I'm going to be able to test ammo. I'm going to be able to test the, various speeds, ammos against each other, barrel lengths, different makes, different manufacturers to see. And I'm sorry about the back and forth. If this is going like a white filter to a yellow filter, it's because depending on how I move, I get it affects the camera affects the meter on this camera. And aside from steel, it's also going to oh shit, what do you think I'm going to fill this with? And what do you think I'm going to do with it? Yes, as long as I clean up my play area, they let you do stuff like that. Now, I'm not going to bring a meat target. They might fucking shit a bird on that one. I don't want to clean up pieces of meat either. But picking up a water bottle and looking at hydrostatic shock damage to it, and maybe even catching a bullet if I could line these up a little bit, that actually is a huge step towards showing at least somewhat kind of effectiveness, or at least the the expansion capabilities of the round, or at least the type of punch that the round might do if I put a bunch of these in order and just see how it affects them. At the very least, you'll be able to tell the difference between a little split or a hole and blowing it wide the fuck open, right? And that might be, it's not the same as cinder blocks. It's not the same old crazy things I could do if I had my own property, but at least it's something. It's better than me on that one fucking angle that you always see at the public range that I have. And with this chronograph, my first official act, that's why it's funny that I noticed how I looked at these. I'm going to see how some 9mm. Now, ammo, although it's not impossible to get ammo in New York, it's a little more difficult. So my selection has been reduced. Now, as I mentioned in one of my other videos, that when you panic buy guns in New York, it has a different definition. You can't go out and panic buy this because then they're not letting you. Emperor Cuomo will not let you buy a gun. Okay, Second Amendment be damned. But in New York, you can buy a shotgun. So yes, you couldn't touch a fucking shotgun in New York, and you certainly couldn't touch any kind of shotgun shells in New York. But when I walk into my local firearms dealer, you will see a decent amount of ammo available, but not everything, and not something that I want. I'm going to be blowing thousands of rounds or hundreds of rounds of premium self-defense ammo down range. But when I get my stocks together, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to check these little hot numbers. These Underwood plus P plus 124 grains. They're claiming 300 feet per second. Let's see if they actually are. Although Underwood tends to be very close. I'm going to pit them against, remember these things, these M17s, these M17 NATOs from SIG. I'm going to check them with some other SIG ammunition, and I'm going to pit them all against the old NYPD special, 124 grain plus P Spear Gold Dots. I'm going to pit them all, and more importantly, I'm going to run them through, I don't have my 365, but I'm going to run them through my 3.1 inch barrel, which isn't 3.1 inches, it's chamber forward, so it's about 2 inch barrel, 1 7/8 inch barrel on my P-SIG 365. I'm going to see what each one of them does and how they feel in that small gun, and I'm going to see what I lost as opposed to running through the quote-unquote 4 inch barrel on my Glock 19. Maybe even since they're guns that are very commonly carried guns, maybe I'll use the old Gen 2 if I feel like cleaning it, Maybe I'll run them through the Gen 2. on the Glock 19. Well, you know what else I'll do? Maybe I'll do them through both. Maybe the Gen 2 and the Gen 4. Now, there should be absolutely no reason why I would get any different results on the chronograph between generations of the same fucking gun, right? Let's find out. To my knowledge, no one's done that yet. So look at me, innovating. The 9mm is going to be first because what the fuck, it's 9mm and everybody carries it. But then I'm also going to do a couple of things. I'm going to do that same comparison with 357 Magnum. Now, 357 Magnum might take me a little while because that's one where that's tough to find premium self-defense ammo, at least at my shop in New York right now. I got a box of Golden Sabres laying around, which are admittedly very mild. But seeing it, I'm firing this, that's why I like a more mild one. But still, they're still, you know, I've seen, I think Paul Harrell is getting 1,200 rounds, 1,200 feet per second out of this. Let's see if I can match that. Let's see if there's any correlation. But I also want to see what you gain in the 3-inch barrel. I don't have a 4-inch 357 Magnum. Maybe that's something I should ask Santa for. But I'm going to see what you gain or lose. Well, you're going to lose coming from a longer barrel to a shorter barrel. But I want to see what the difference is. But I want to wait until I could do a little bit more. Because all I have is the Golden Sabres and just a handful of my Hornadies, which is what I actually run in this. I run the Hornadies in the old nightstand gun. 125 grain, again. And again, they're rated at 1,500 feet per second on the box. That's probably with the fucking Peacemaker size thing. But we're going to see what these actually get. 1,500 rated on the box. What it is coming out of a nightstand style 3-inch barrel gun. So I'll be able to do stuff like that. That's the 357. And then after that, we're just going to have some fun. Yes, I'm going to do the NYPD, this thing. I haven't forgotten that because I do want to run a revolver. But again, I got to get speed loaders for that. I'm going to take that same thing to the old 44. Everyone loves a good 44 Magnum, right? And again, what I'm running in this currently, I can't read that, but it's a big round. But what I'm going to do in that is I'm going to see exactly, because 44 Magnum is one of those rounds. Yeah, everyone knows that you're running 240 grains in them, right? 240 grain. But I enjoy. Are you kidding me? I think speed does kill when it comes to self-defense rounds. And I'm wondering, what kind of numbers am I going to get out of a 225 grain 44 Magnum? Got some Hornadies here. Or a 200 grain 44 Magnum. Maybe I'll drop it down. Maybe I'll pick up, if I could find it, 180 grain. And see what kind of velocity we're getting. And see what kind of differences it makes on things that explode. You know? So that's where I'm going to go. And finally, or at least as far as my initial offerings into the realm of real firearms, scientific quantitative testing, I promised you the old SR 1911. I never did a proper video on this. I alluded to it, I showed it, I keep changing grips on it, but I never did one of me putting this gun through its paces, and that is a disservice to myself, this gun, and to you, and I feel I owe you guys something. It's a great gun. I love 1911s. I'm not going to beat that horse. It's already been dead, but I love 1911s. This is a great gun. I'm going to show you just how great it is. We're going to do some rapid fire stuff on it. We're going to shoot some steel with it. We're going to blow up some water bottles with it. And I'm going to chronograph it because this is also one, the 45 ACP is one of those rounds that I find fascinating. Because again, you know it comes in the 230 grain, slug. And look, I'm buying shit in bulk. Okay, I got a whole box of these fat little bastards. Everyone knows the 230 grain slugs, right? But for self-defense, do we want to try something like I can't even read this, 200 grain maybe? See if we pick up some velocity? Or more importantly, which is what I like to carry when I used to use this thing for some type of self-defense purposes, is I always kind of enjoyed the 185 grain 45 ACP and these Hornady critical defense. I'm going to run some of these through the chrono, and I'm going to run them. Obviously we know we're going to be going about 800 to 900 feet per second on this. I want to see 185 grains. If this can get this 100 to 85 grain slug going at 1,000 feet per second, close to 1,100 feet per second, it kind of changes the whole feel for me on 45 ACP. And again, the chronograph is now going to let me see that, and I'm certainly going to be blowing up shit and see what makes a bigger splash. And I'm going to be pushing the limits on that, see what else I can bring, stuff that, maybe I'll make us like some do like some penetration things. I don't see them have any issue with that. If they're gonna let me shoot steel that I bring, maybe I'll make one of those. You lay out the maybe piece of the scrap plywood or particle board to see penetration and damage and depth type of thing. So maybe I'll start doing stuff like that. So that's where this channel is going. I hope to keep expanding and becoming more mainstream like that, while still adding my unpolished, unprepared flair to all these videos, which all you guys seem to like. So I guess I'm gonna leave on a high note. Leo, come here. Let's say goodbye. Come here. This fucking dog hates me. Well, there is a dog there. Until next time, thanks for watching. Thanks for all subscriptions. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate your comments. I do read them, even if I don't always respond in a timely fashion. But we're going to take care of that now. And look, if I can influence anybody to, one, try something, get into the gun community, or at least make someone think, if anything that I'm saying, as far as my thoughts or beliefs on what's going on around us, well, then that's a good thing, and I always like exchanging ideas. But until then, next video, I'll be shooting something, if not somebody. Signing off.